everyone, welcome back. This is Earth Star Tarot, and so I took a little break again because I was coughing so much, but I also have some new decks, and I'm very excited about the new decks, and so let's get into it. So today we're going to talk about what mystery is ready to be revealed to you, and so we've got 3 piles, 1, 2, 3. And the crystal for the first pile from the crystal card deck is emerald. Who needs it? Aestheticists, which I believe means people who work in the field of beauty. Bohemians, Epicureans, and Transcendentalists. Use it when you've temporarily lost the courage to love and be loved. When you're in need of a total refresh, open your heart to limitless possibility with emerald. Point your heart toward grace. And the second crystal is amethyst. Who needs it? Train wrecks who go off the rails on the wet and wild route to Bacchanalia, any Pisces. When to use it? When it's time to give up the victim routine and start living with purpose, hold on tight to amethyst and get drunk on your highest self. I might be biased because I am a Pisces, but I really love that description. And we've got Libyan gold tektite. Who needs it? The navel-gazing and brooding, binge watchers, anyone looking to hit the street with some extra swagger, and cancers. When to use it? When your get up and go has ghosted you. Banish the blahs. So those are the crystals. And so for pile 1, we've got the Oracle of the Cosmic Heart. This is from the Starseed Oracle deck. The Cosmic Heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. For pile 2, we've got Child of the Cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. And pile 3, we've got Double Mission, Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. And so once again, pile 1 is the Cosmic Heart and the Emerald. Pile 2 is Child of the Cosmos and Amethyst. And pile 3 is Double Mission with Libyan gold tektite. So feel free to pause the video, take the time you need, feel into which pile resonates for you, and we'll see you in the reading. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. So today we're asking what mystery is ready to be revealed to you. And again, we've got emerald. Who needs it? Aestheticists, bohemians, Epicureans, Transcendentalists. When to use it? When you've temporarily lost the courage to love and be loved. When you're in need of a total refresh, open your heart to limitless possibility with emerald and point your heart toward grace. And the Cosmic Heart with devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart. To bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off-kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're about. To devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul's seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks, to make your life one big moving prayer. And the prompt, the practice is, how can you make your life a moving prayer? And so we've got the energies of making your life a moving prayer and refreshing your courage to love and be loved, and opening the heart to endless possibilities. I've pulled a couple more oracle cards, and we'll talk about this one first. This one popped out and it came out with another card, and I just wanted to pull one, so I put it back in the deck and then it popped out again. So that felt aligned. And then we have, from the Citadel deck, we've got the Acolyte with new projects and learning. If it feels like you're not making progress lately, it may be time to think about learning something new and expanding your horizons. Take up a hobby, a new class, or fresh experience. You'll enjoy the rewards immediately. Learning is an infinite journey. Embracing the fun of new experiences will provide the fresh perspective you need. And so there's definitely a sense here of committing to making your life a moving prayer, committing to opening your heart to love again, and then committing to an actual practice of learning something new. And maybe that might all be part of the same thing for you, or it might, for some of you, it might speak to different parts of your life. And then this card that popped out twice for you, I'm going to read from the Dawn guidebook. We've got Asphodel, if I'm saying that correctly. Asphodel. The Maziri of Corsica carry wands of Asphodel into the dream realm. There, they hunt the souls of locals in order to predict who will fall ill or die in the next year. Drawing this card is a sign that you too will have to make some big predictions soon. They'll have important effects on your life, so don't make them lightly, and don't take forever either, or someone may end up making them for you. So you're being called to tune into your own mystical energies, I would say, and make some predictions and decisions from that place. So it looks to me as if you've got a service path here. Perhaps you already know that and you're already walking that path, or it might be that you're being called into that path right now. So let's get some tarot cards and see if we can illuminate. I'm feeling nervous all over again. This is the Modern Witch Tarot, which I am in love with. So cool. So happy this antidote to the Rider-Waite exists. Might be my new standard deck. I have to learn the other decks a little bit better before I can bust them out with a plum. And these cards are stiff and it's quite thick. Look at this pile. So I shuffled them and shuffled them and shuffled them again. I was having such a good time. It's like a kid in a candy shop shuffling cards last night, and ended up giving myself a reading, not because I intended to, but because the cards just popped out. Because I was so excited to get this deck. And so we're looking at what mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 1. What are the mysteries ready to be revealed to pile 1? And we're doing upright cards only for the time being. I was actually ready to perhaps start busting out the reversals, but the guidebook for this deck does not have reversals, and it's sort of too much all at once. So we're just going to stick to uprights. So what mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 1? It looks like for pile 1 we're talking about actual mysteries, as in the mysteries. So if that resonates for you, there might be some next steps on that path, and it looks like you're going to be moving quickly from the learning to the implementation of that knowledge. I just want to take a minute to appreciate this card. Make your life a moving prayer. That's such a beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful sentiment. Get one more card and then we'll get a few clarifiers. What mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 1? Now the cards are being coy. Wouldn't be surprised if we get the High Priestess. Seriously, they were just jumping out last night. What mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 1. What information is coming through for pile 1 for their journey with the mysteries? There we go. Okay, so we've got Temperance. So in spite of the push to rush in with the asphodel over here, we've got a little message of Temperance. So it's possible that there might be energies in need of balancing in your life in order to facilitate this journey. Perhaps you're being called to tune into the elements, so there might be some balance to be struck between connecting with the watery realms and with the earth. We've got the fire and we've got the air too, and the wings. So it might be productive for you. I would even say, you know, this is a ritual happening here, which, and these words have never come out of my mouth about this card before, but there's a ritual taking place here, and so it is a ritual involving the 4 elements. And perhaps there's something, given the energies here, and I'm going to suggest that if ritual is something, if ritual is part of your toolkit, if that's one of your go-tos, then you might want to look at doing a ritual that balances or harmonizes all of the elements, whether that be 4 elements for you or 5 elements, depending on your belief system. So you might want to connect in with all of the different elements and see if you can undertake some kind of balancing ritual to bring them into harmony within your life or within the lives of those you serve, perhaps. So the King of Wands is leadership energies. The King is the pinnacle of the suit of action and passion and fiery willfulness, determination. So the King would be the one who is not afraid of stepping up. If you do have any fear of stepping up, then consider this a call, a divine call to step into those energies more fully. And I like how the wand, which is originally intended, I think, to be blooming, but here it sort of looks like it's blooming with fire, and the fire is green fire, which might suggest a bit of heart energy. And so the King of Wands, it could also be someone in a position of authority in your life who might be assistant. It could be a teacher or some sort of boss figure. But I'd say it's looking more like, given the energies over here, that it could be a teacher going together with the acolyte, but with the asphodel sort of making a calling of you stepping up and making predictions. I'd say that this is more likely you. Take what resonates, and if other meanings resonate for you, then go with that. Trust your intuition. But so it may be that in terms of maybe this is a ritual that you want to invite others into and utilize some leadership energies in that capacity. We've got the Two of Pentacles, so that suggests either choices to make or some balancing to do. There might be a couple of options that are equally palatable to you, and or, you know, it might be again a call to harmonizing different elements within your life or specifically within some kind of ritual, spiritual path. And it looks, you know, she's got it under control here. The balancing is happening, and so, you know, it might be that you're juggling multiple things, but it seems to me like that's going to work out just fine. Especially over here, we've got the Queen of Cups, so we've got, you know, a major arcana over here. We've got some court cards, court energy, which again comes back to, I'd say, the idea of leadership and stepping up in this context. The Queen of Cups she is the sort of the emblematization of compassion, loving, you know, sort of maternal energies a little bit, I'd say, but definitely devotion. She's, you know, she's sort of melting into the sea here, so she's on land, but you couldn't really say that she is claimed by the land. She's sort of being claimed by the sea, and She's, it looks to me like she's engaging in some kind of meditation on the Holy Grail that she holds in her hands. And so again, that might be reinforcing the message of making your life a moving prayer. You know, treat the things in your life with that level of devotion, and yeah, these are such beautiful cards. I feel like these are beautiful energies, but the cards also are definitely bringing out, it just feels very harmonious with the messages over here. And so going back to the emerald, just a reminder, so when you've temporarily lost the courage to love and be loved, or you're in need of a total refresh, open your heart to limitless possibility with emerald and point your heart toward grace. And so I'd say the Queen of Cups is definitely underscoring that message. She would be, you know, she's got sort of the personification of grace and beauty over here. Let's get some clarifier cards and see if there's anything else that wants to come through here. We'll take the first card of those. Naked Bums. I haven't seen some of these cards yet, probably many of them. Just the ones that came through last night in the reading, the impromptu reading that jumped out of the cards for me, which was so great. It was such a good energy. So we've got the Lovers, we've got the Three of Wands. We've got the Four of Cups. And we've got the Empress joining the Queen of Cups. That's beautiful. Okay, so the Lovers, so if there's... I'm going to give a reading that is non-romantic, but there could also be a romantic reading here. So with the Lovers, that can be referring to a choice. So a choice that will have long-lasting implications for your life, and you know, possibly for generations to come. And so it might be that you're choosing between two things. We've got sort of a parallel here. And so when we're undertaking new projects, sometimes we make choices that direct our life in a certain direction. And so if you're struggling to make that choice, I'd say go back to these rituals of balancing the four elements, call in the four elements, and sort of invite them to guide you, or invite your guides to speak through the elements to you, or the elements to speak through your guides, whatever resonates with you. In a romantic reading, it's possible that this is referring to a situation of balance and harmony, that it could be bringing in new love. It could be, especially since we've got a call to love with the Emerald that I was reading just before we pulled this, it could be the deepening of an existing connection, and it does seem like the connection will have something to do with temperance, with balance, sort of acting harmoniously. And so then we have the King of Wands, as I'm reading it, is you in a leadership position. It could be you're taking charge of the way that a relationship goes or comes to be. Possibly you're putting your passions forward in a measured way, and that's leading to, you know, that's sort of creating the energies that bring something in. With the Three of Wands modifying the King of Wands, we've got this person's looking out at their ships, waiting for their ships to come in. So you may be starting projects and then waiting for them to come in. I always think this person should go off and, you know, go play a game of darts or something while they're waiting. But in any event, it suggests that there are good things coming to you, and possibly as a result of actions taken up here. And so then, you know, when those shifts come in, you know, there's 3 things here, there's 2 things here. It's possible that there is a bit of a juggling act or some balancing needing to take place. And especially with the 4 of Cups here, it sort of suggests this person's wearing a shirt that says over it. So it suggests that there might be just a little, maybe there's too much coming in, too much of a good thing. If this is a romantic reading, there might be a feeling of, you know, wanting to take a break or step back in you, I would say, or just sort of being, you know, reaching a limit. You know, there's bounty here, but this person just is not interested in delving any further into the realms of emotions or harmony with another person. It might be that you're too focused on, not too focused, but you're, you know, focused on career or manifesting the next big thing in your life, and that, you know, romantic overtones are not what is calling you at this time. But on the other hand, up here we've got the Queen of Cups. So we've sort of gone from these 4 cups that might be too much or, you know, pulling you in different directions. And up here we've got the singular devotion to a single cup. So maybe you've got multiple people going on in your life, and, you know, what you're being called to is to sort of focus in on one cup in particular. I'm not necessarily saying only one cup, you know, forevermore, but perhaps focus your devotion singularly on that one cup, one at a time, rather than being pulled in different directions at the same time. And you know, if this is about a spiritual pursuit or a business project, then it may be that you need to simplify and focus in on one path and put all of your devotion, your energy, your potency. So we've got potency here, and, you know, that make your life a living prayer by narrowing down and truly appreciating that one cup that you have in front of you. And it looks like that will go well for you. We've got the Empress. She is the Queen of Queens. She's got all of the elements balanced, going back to the Temperance card. And she carries the energies of the Queen of Cups and the queens of the other suits as well. And she represents fecundity, fertility, a time of prosperity. And so I would say that whatever is started over here is going to end in beautiful energies, and it looks like you're the catalyst. So I hope this is helpful, and I feel like I want to pull, I'm so excited about this mushroom deck, so maybe we'll just pull one card from this mushroom deck here, because I made a point of ensuring that I got a few tarot decks because I was starting to tap out on that Rider-Waite. But they do require learning, but I feel like I can pull one at a time here. So let's see if the mushrooms have anything for you. Is perhaps next steps. What are the next steps for pile 1? Next steps for pile 1 in their mystery journey. If you are contemplating a journey into the mysteries, I would say there's quite a strong indication here that that's going to be a beautiful path for you. And perhaps you're choosing the path here and then deepening in here. Here you might face some challenges, or just need to narrow down to specifically what that path is for you, or, you know, which sort of, I mean, there's many different paths to take within a mystery journey. And so maybe that's what's happening here, that you're narrowing down and focusing in your devotion and locking in those Empress energies, or inviting them in. Locking isn't probably not a mystery word so much. Inviting, being receptive to, opening to. Strong indications of divine feminine energy here between the Queen of Cups and the Empress, and even with Temperance at the start. So I'm curious, I mean, if we're talking about predictions that need to be made, these cards have a bit of an urgency to them. I'm curious about that deck. I'll have to spend a minute with it. Okay, so for your action card, we've got 5 of Pentacles and Devil's Cigar, which is Corioactus Geister, if I'm saying that correctly. Okay, so the 5 of Pentacles refers to, it's the people on the outside of the church who are out in the cold. They've got some wounding and they're sort of walking around the outside of the church, and there's a suggestion that, you know, if they choose to go inside the church, they'll be able to access the warmth and community within, and hopefully some healing. And let's look up the Devil's Cigar and see if it has any nuances to add. So my read of the call to action would be to access community. So don't, you know, if you're feeling on the outside of something, or if you've been through a hard time, just sort of be aware that our brains can become patterned into self-sufficiency in a way that is not necessarily productive or helpful. Sometimes we need to go beyond that self-sufficiency and seek out teachers. This could be a teacher over here with the Acolyte and the King of Wands. But I'd say there's very much a message that that community is available to you if you choose to access it, and perhaps you should access it. The rare Devil's Cigar is found only in a couple of small habitats worldwide. These mushrooms pop open with an audible hiss, throwing off a puff of spores to spread via the wind. Deforestation threatens the species. Its vulnerability makes it appropriate for the 5 of Pentacles card, which forewarns of an upcoming struggle. Says there may be loss coming. To soften this potential hardship, be adaptable and aware of your assets. So this might be calling us back to the urgency that was represented by the asphodel here. So it does seem like, I'd say you're in a great position, but it is possible that there might be something ahead that you want to be ready for, and not to worry you too much, but, you know, as long as there's some heart opening and you know, you're invoking the elements or otherwise taking steps to make your decisions cautiously, learning about, you know, what the options are and where to take that, then it seems to me that you'll be in a good position to balance out whatever is coming. But I would take between the need to make some predictions quickly and then the suggestion of loss ahead that is going along with the Devil's Cigar, then I would say that just to sort of take stock of your resources and call in your community and you know, walk through those doors and access the community that might be able to support you, and put those supports in place in case there is something ahead. Perhaps there is a mystery coming that will strengthen you, and so just make sure that you are in a good position to access your own strength through that and be supported through it. Okay, pile 1, we'll leave it there. Thanks for being here. If you found this useful, please do give a like and leave a comment, subscribe, and all these things help me grow the channel. Thank you for being here, and thanks for the opportunity. Bye, pile 1. We'll see you in the next one. Hi, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So for you, we've got the amethyst crystal. Who needs it? Train wrecks who go off the rails on the wet and wild route to Bacchanalia. Any Pisces. And I know it's referring to train wrecks here, but I so much love this description because it sort of suggests to me with just, you know, the sort of spirit of Bacchanalia, like having any sort of soiree that in which you're honoring Bacchus, or, you know, sort of, I picture rituals once upon a time of, you know, sort of like a Beltane ritual, or any just mad celebration where people go into their wild side. And I love that it's associating Pisces with that. Pisces usually gets a bit of a reputation for being very balanced, very, you know, sort of cosmic, but I love the idea of, they're also associated with drinking, of course, or substances, anything Neptunian. So it's interesting to me that Pisces could be described as a train wreck or wet and wild, which honestly, it applies. And so when to use it, when it's time to give up the victim routine and start living with purpose and get drunk on your highest self. So if that's resonating for you, then this may be your reading. We've also got Child of the Cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. One page before pile 1, interestingly enough. There's a mysterious force that governs all of life, an intelligence that tells flowers when to bloom and the tides and seasons when to come and go. That intelligence is within you, too. It was there before you drew your first breath, and it will be there well beyond your last. It's the part of you that informed every cell what to do when you were in your mother's womb. It's harder to resist this force than it is to surrender to it. Because Earth is a planet of polarity and free will, it's easy to forget that this intelligence exists within us. So often we become disconnected from this pulse of life and fall into the pattern of believing that we're separate, or feeling that we need to go it alone. We can feel isolated, and as if we need to figure things out for ourselves to rely on our own strength. You're being called to remember the intelligence that's within each and every one of your cells, to remember that you're a precious child of a loving, gentle universe, that you have access to all of the intelligence, wisdom, strength, flow, and qualities there ever were, are, or will be. And to remember that if flowers know exactly when and how to bloom, then you do too. And the practice is, how can you surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life? And so we're going to pull a couple more oracle cards. And to have this ready. So we've got bracken, and so I should have said the question that we're looking at is, what mysteries are ready to be revealed to you? What mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 2? So let's look at bracken. Bracken, the mystical golden fern seed, is believed to have the power to grant invisibility. The actual existence of fern seeds has never been proven, but the magical reputation of the seed remains, as does fern's mysterious secret. Do not be afraid to let yourself become invisible for a while. The world does not need to know where you are or what you are doing at all times. Let yourself escape from the public eye until you're ready to return to it. So between these two, I am seeing a bit of a parallel. So if there's a message about knowing when to flower or bloom, and this is sort of a call to go into that gestation phase, the winter phase of sort of receding, pulling back, and then it sounds like you'll know when to come out. I'm just going to go back to the gemstone again. When to start living with purpose and get drunk on your higher self. So I'm sort of sensing that there might be external energies that have been acting on you, or to which you've been giving your energy, and you're being called back to yourself, and to sort of go more deeply within and sense for yourself, turn away from the bacchanalia. I love a good bacchanalia, but there are times definitely to turn away from that bacchanalia and go internal. And from that process of sort of overwintering and going deeper into the earth, during winter, that's when the seeds begin their work of opening to the earth, and that's when the plants are dormant, they're doing, a lot of work on the inside, and then that work sort of bursts forth the next season, and they're larger than they were a year before. So there's gestation happening under the earth and within that knows when to come out. When the next spring comes, you'll know. And then we've got the thief with seizing the moment and selfishness, and I love how provocative some of these cards are. I did pull this last night, and actually the book's flipping open. I'll read the whole description, which I didn't do for pile 1, but a crash of pottery, the sound of angry voices, someone laughs, another curses. You're so distracted looking to see what's going on that you don't realize your pockets are suddenly empty. The thief takes what they want when they want. It started off as a necessity, but now it's an addiction, a need to take greater risks, to seek bigger marks. One day they'll run out of luck, but it's the thrill that keeps them going in the meantime. It may seem like a selfish way to live, but the thief makes their own destiny, and so do you. Grab that opportunity the next time it arises. Don't let should and could stop you from gaining fulfillment. Life is short, and sometimes you need to put yourself first. And so I would say there's a divine timing element to all this. So you're being called to sort of go within and, put the brakes on the social aspects for now, and go within, go deeply within, and you'll sense when it's time to bloom, and when that opportunity comes, seize it. That is what I'm getting here. Let's see what illumination the tarot cards can provide you. So what mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 2? What is pile 2 ready to see? I'm going to put those back. If they want to come back out, they will. Just need one to 2 at a time right now. These cards are so stiff. I love a brand new tarot deck, but they're definitely a little bit. So we got all our cards here. Okay, so we've got the 5 of Wands, the 2 of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. So we've got some air and fire energy here. And so the 5 of Wands can point to a situation where there are too many cooks in the kitchen, is how I usually sum it up. Where there's sort of competing, everyone's trying to build, and they're trying to build together, but they're working at cross purposes, sort of not working in harmony. And so everyone's sort of trying to assert their ego and do it their way. And the result is that they're not building anything. They're just sort of waving their wands around. If you're familiar with the association of wands with the phallus, that's kind of funny, especially with these women who sort of look a little bit like schoolgirls, some of them. Kind of finding it funny that they're waving their metaphorical egos around. This girl gang is engaged in battle, ready to defend their position and fight one another. Could be friendly competition, or it could get ugly, but either way it's exhausting. Competition is fierce and the obstacles are many. So what I'm seeing is, there's the bacchanalia that we were talking about in the call to go within. I think perhaps this could refer to just too much going on in the social sphere. It could also refer to too much going on within you and a need to simplify and sort of distill down to, if these are different parts of yourself that are working at cross purposes, taking a minute to go within and perhaps just, meditate on what needs to happen next. What are the next steps so that you're ready for that opportunity when it does come? And or, sort of quiet the external voices that are cluttering up your inner voice. You want to create some room to hear your inner voice. So there might be just a little too much going on at this time, and you're definitely getting a call to slow down and hear your own voice so that you know when it's time to bloom. The 2 of Swords can indicate that there's a choice that needs to be made. It may be that you're weighing your options, and so there can be a suggestion that you're not seeing the options clearly with the blindfold here, but I would say in this case there is a suggestion sometimes in yoga, for example, that we receive a lot of stimulus and input through our eyes. And the simple act of closing your eyes can attune you to your own inner voice. And so I actually think that this might be a suggestion that could be useful to take. So it might just be that in weighing those options, in deciding, if your eyes are closed, rather than looking at the swords, which, as far as we can tell from this picture, they're equally good options, but you know, you might be able to feel the weight of them, feel which one, you know, works better in your hands, works better with your own body, you know, how they move. There might be other things you can attune to by closing off all of the noise and sort of going within and sensing which option to take. If you're looking at a relationship, there might be an indication that you need to balance the disparate elements of the partnership. It might be that there's some kind of imbalance that needs to be corrected. And then over here we've got the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is truth, clarity, incisiveness. Again, the swords are associated with the element of air, which is communication, messages coming through. It's just having a very clear sense, mental energy, having a clear sense of what comes next. So it seems like, you know, perhaps by going within and stilling these different voices, taking the time for some clarity, you will get there, you will get to clarity, and you will have a strong sense of, you know, which of these swords is for you and how to move forward with the path that you're undertaking. And, you know, so it's sort of, I see the unfolding of what we were talking about over here through this process. So we've got the noise, we've got, you know, feeling into which option is the better option, and then we've got the clarity coming out, and finally resulting in the Queen of Wands. There's actually a great description of the Queen of Wands, so I'm just going to read it out. The Queen is bursting with life and infectious energy, and you can't help feeling like you could take on the world when you're around her. Her confidence and get-to-itness is so powerful, she motivates you to do shit. If you're the Queen, life is giving it all to you right now. Good luck, ideas, friends, promotions. So channel this bounty into confidence. You know your strengths and weaknesses and how to utilize all your skills to get what you want. So get it, girl. Those are not words that have ever come out of my mouth before. It feels a bit odd. But hopefully that's resonating with some of you. So it looks to me as if by undertaking this process of stilling the noisy voices, stepping away from the party, and feeling into your options, you're going to seek you're going to get some clarity, and that clarity is going to bring you to an extremely great position to be bursting forth and taking advantage of opportunities. And so we'll just get a few clarifier cards for these, see if there's any nuances we're missing. So what mystery is ready to be revealed? Clarifier cards. Clarifying the Five of Wands, please. I've got a black cat coming through. Candles are flickering. And I'm still fumbling with this deck. It's so cute. It was just like so harmonious in my hands last night, and now I feel like I'm just stumbling my way through the shuffling. It's fine. Hold on, just came out there. If they want to come back out, they will. In pile one, I pulled out too many cards for this guy, and one of them the first one came right back out a minute later. Tarot is astounding. That is the black cat getting a bit feisty, trying to figure out where he can go amongst all these tarot cards all over the couch. Alright. Clarifying the Two of Swords, please. What mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile two? Oh my. More naked bums. I've considered coloring in some clothing, but it does feel a little sacrilegious. I'll just do it in post. Clarifying the use of swords for pile two. What mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile two? Okay. I'm liking this. Okay, so with respect to the external noise, or possibly the internal noise, these sort of elements that are working at cross purposes or not working in harmony. It seems like if you even simplify a couple of them, we'll end up in a situation of harmony. It might be that you have trusted collaborators that you want to bring in, and they might be able to help you streamline the energies or the decisions. And then you're back over here making a decision between two things. You know, maybe one of these is you and the other two are your two options or your two collaborators, and then maybe you have to narrow that down. There might be some temptations. I mean, if you're bringing in your trusted collaborators, maybe they are also your trusted Bacchanal partners, so you might have to try and maintain focus, and just, you might be dipping back into those energies of the Bacchanal. But I mean, who knows, maybe that's what brings you to the clarity by, you know, going into, I was saying over here that you should feel into the energies, and sometimes, you know, getting well away from the energies, having a rousing good time can be a way to get oneself to clarity. Can not necessarily happen in the best way, so, you know, be cautious with that. If you sense that these are energies of addiction for you, then I would say stay away and stay focused. You know, this would be more of a warning than a call to action. But if you're sort of too serious in these, you know, trying to streamline everything, then sometimes it can be good to, you know, go out for a night of dancing, perhaps. I'm trying to suggest a temperate way to invoke the devil. And so whatever your choice is here, so it might be that you're, you know, even weighing the options of staying focused versus going into the Bacchanal. I really would love to see a sort of pagan version of the devil, where the devil's not chaining anyone, but rather is creating the opportunity for them to encounter their wild sides, and they're free to go after that. But that's, I suppose, the tarot deck will have to create someday, or a business idea for someone, maybe for you, pile too. And then we've got, over here, we are somehow getting from the devil to the Ace of Swords. Maybe we need a clarifier there. What is moving pile 2 from the devil, or either the Bacchanal, or the warning not to go back into the Bacchanal? How are we getting from the devil to the Ace of Swords? How is pile 2 moving from the devil to the Ace of Swords? Other than by a massive hangover. Okay, well, maybe by bringing these energies out into the light. So if you are dealing with some addictions or feeling a pull back into something that doesn't serve you, then maybe bringing awareness to it and possibly talking it over with your trusted confidants. That might be bringing some light to the situation, might be what moves you into clarity and able to make a good, clear decision between the two options that you're considering, or even the multiple options that you're considering. I do see a firm process of simplification from the Five of Wands to the Three of Cups to the 2 to the Ace over here, and it looks like some awareness or celebratory, energies of the good kind are what is going to bring you to the clarity over here. And then from that clarity, you're going to be productive. You're going to be so productive. You're going to be rocking it. And so the Eight of Pentacles is, the waiting time of the Seven of Pentacles is over, and you are harvesting what you've created. You're able to put it into practice and do great things with it. So this is you blooming. So if we're waiting for the blooming time, this is you blooming. And then perhaps that's what brings you over to this Queen of Wands, knowing exactly what you want and how to get it, and having the resources to do that sort of energy. Oh, look, we've got a black cat over here, just as the black cat was coming through your reading, literally. And then from the Queen of Wands, we've got the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is well-resourced, and there might be some material prosperity ahead at the end of this journey. It might be that there is some slowing down that is going to happen. So maybe you go into your Queen of Wands fiery energies, and that brings you through into the stability, the material stability that you have perhaps been working towards. The king has all they've ever wished and fought for, and all their material dreams have come to fruition. They are not miserly, but instead trusting and extremely generous. They love to see others succeed as they have, and will definitely be willing to lend a helping hand if needed. If you are the king, don't be stingy with your time and money. Donate your skills, wisdom, and possibly money. You'll feel truly fulfilled after spending the time to help others. And so, seems like you'll go within, you'll figure out what that opportunity is and when to seize it and how, possibly avoiding temptation on the way, or bringing some awareness to that process of temptation, addiction, and or possibly going into those energies and bringing some sunniness into your life through them, because of them in some way. I know that might sound contradictory, but I really do believe in the power of the Bacchanal, and especially in a ritual sense. I'll leave it there. If that resonates, it does. But if you sense that there's temptations that you need to avoid, then listen to that. Certainly heed your intuition around that. And so then we've got the clarity, and that is, this is, the seed has been planted. The seed is being nurtured and watered, and then that's going to bloom wonderfully for you, which is going to make you all fired up. And this is sort of like, I'd say, almost the beginning energies of world domination. And then down here we've got, world domination is a bit of a patriarchal, not so great term. Actually, I'm questioning myself now that I've got a better tarot deck on board. But being in those energies of fruition, of being able to create exactly what you're calling in, being able to manifest, and having no fear doing it, and just being go 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 in the best of ways, and full of energy and drive and success. And again, with the flaming, I mentioned this in pile 1, but these almost look like they're flaming the buds out of the wand with some green heart-centered energy. And then the King of Pentacles is generous. We've got all indications here. There might be, a Taurus in your life. Pentacles energy is sort of slowing down, putting down roots. And the King would be the one who has mastered that and is able to share generously with others. So, if this is you, then you're being called to seize that opportunity and create your abundance, and then bring it out into the world and share it with others. If you're looking at relationship energies, it's possible that by being in your Queen of Wands energy, you're going to call in your King of Pentacles, or possibly by being in your King of Pentacles energy, and I'd say this, regardless of your gender, you're going to call in your Queen of Wands. But it looks like you're going to figure out when that moment of bloom is, and you're going to seize the opportunity and get to a really great place. So I hope this helps, and we'll leave it there. If this was helpful or interesting to you, please do like below. It helps grow the channel. It helps other people, stimulates the YouTube algorithm so that other people see the readings, and that will help me grow the channel. Comment, subscribe, all of those things will really help and sort of entice others. Let's entice the others to come and check out the readings, because I'd love to keep doing them, and watching the channel grow is the best impetus there could possibly be for that. Okay, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, Pile 2. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. For you, we've got the Libyan Gold Tektite, Who Needs It? The Navel-Gazing and Brooding, Binge Watchers, anyone looking to hit the street with some extra swagger, and Cancers. When to use it: when your get up and go has ghosted you. Banish your blahs. So if you're feeling sort of, like you need to get out there with some extra swagger, and you're kind of stuck in your blah energies. Did it say navel gazing? I believe it did. Navel gazing and brooding. So if you need to get out of, turn off Netflix, get out the door, go enjoy the world, go be present with what is, then this may be the pile for you. Double mission. We've got Lightworker, Starseed, serve the world by being you. Hope you can see that. I can't really see what the camera can see, but I'm going to read out the description for that one. We are looking at what mysteries are ready to be revealed to you, or what mystery is ready to be revealed to you. Double mission. Lightworker starseeds are mission and purpose oriented. Many have the feeling that time's running out, and there's something they came here to do, create, or contribute. They're here to grow as souls individually, individual mission, and also to contribute to the planet in some action-oriented way, collective mission. Their collective mission is often answered through a career calling or by devoting their life to something bigger. Until they remember their collective mission, it can feel as if something's missing or that they're forgetting something important. It's common for lightworker starseeds to feel that they're different, and they may carry soul memories of being visible or sharing their voice. As such, they may protect themselves by dimming their light in order to fit in, or by spending time in some sort of closet, such as a spiritual closet. If you pull this card, you're being called to remember your collective mission and step into it even more fully. You're being reminded that your role as a light worker is to light up the world with your presence. This doesn't have to be a great big thing or a decision you need to make. You also don't need to have a great big plan. If you resonate with being a light worker, all you need to do is work out what lights you up, your passions and joys, and keep doing that. When you trust and follow the simple path of things that light you up, and then lose yourself in the doing, you'll light up the world without even trying. How can you serve the world? The practice is, how can you serve the world? By being you. So lean more fully into yourself. So I think what I'm seeing here is that you're here for a collective mission. You might have figured out your individual mission, you may or may not have, but you might be playing small right now, and you might be doing it by binge watching Netflix, or, not leaving the house. I think since 2020, a lot of us have made our nests really cozy, and we like to be in them. Anyone who was leaning that way to start with has, now got carte blanche to sink into those homey energies, but it seems like you're being called out. I'm seeing the astrological wheel, and, if we've got the 10th house up here as your calling, your career, I don't want to say your purpose necessarily, but your vocation certainly, what the world sees you doing, what the world sees you doing in the world, or what society sees you doing. Then the polar opposite of that is the 4th house, which is the home, the family of origin, could be ancestors, but certainly the home would be in that region. It's associated with the sign of Cancer. And so if you're, too much in those energies, then it's like this card is saying that you need to be over here, over in the 10th house. You need to be focusing on the mission. And so we're going to get a couple more oracle cards to go along with that. And what I am seeing is that this is not, you don't have to figure out what that mission is in words or in terms of what you practice in the world or what your calling is. All you have to do is show up in the world and just be you and deliver that to the world, because we each have individual gifts that are unlike the gifts, the combination of gifts within us. Maybe we have things in common with others, hopefully, points of connection, but the way that they are patterned through you is unique to you. And there's nobody else, there's literally nobody else on this earth, or possibly beyond, who can deliver your gifts to the world. So if you're here, then it is because there is something that you're called to deliver to the world simply by being you. So what mysteries are pile 3 not seeing? What mystery is ready to be revealed to pile 3? I'm quite fond of the cards popping out on their own, but sometimes they don't. And it's probably to do with my own nervous energy while being on camera. I would call that one popped out. Because when I'm by myself, they certainly do. We've got the miser, stubbornness, inflexibility. So I'm going to read the description for that before we draw any conclusions about it. But in a way, staying on the couch when you're being called to be out in the world is a form of miserliness, sort of depriving the world of your gifts. And so if that resonates, take what resonates. If you're feeling triggered, you're welcome to pause the video and tune into those energies and see if there's something there for you to sit and work with. What does pile 3 what mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 3. We have Bluebell with a book that is shot through with arrows. I would assume that has to do with wisdom, but I will read the little guidebook here. I'm so excited about these new decks, if I haven't said that 20,000 times already. I just feel like I've opened up my capacity by getting the right tools. I also got a stand for the phone to record, which is a vast improvement over the quick and dirty rigging that I was doing before, which involved a lot of boxes and a clipboard and a heavy book. Okay, the miser. 98. A store stands open for business, yet no customers wait inside. A figure sits, counting their coins, ignoring anyone who approaches them. They should be celebrating their success, but it is easier to hide behind a wall and block out anyone who tries to help. The miser is incapable of realizing that they are the cause of their own problems. They justify their unhappiness by blaming others for their own faults. Unwilling to work with others for fear of being outshone, their actions are irrational and indicative of a lack of belief in themselves. Deep inside, there is a miser in all of us. Rather than let yourself become consumed with selfishness and the inability to admit your mistakes, exercise some empathy and put yourself in someone else's shoes. That difficult situation has 2 sides to it. Look at it from the other side, and you'll find a happy compromise to be made. So I'm seeing this sort of as it's like a combination of the 5 of Pentacles with the people on the outside of the church who are sort of self-selecting to be out there, and the 9 of Cups, which is, I very much get this sort of miser energy. I know that card is meant to be an archetype of success and prosperity and having accomplished one's goals in life, but this is definitely the energy I get from that card. So I don't know if that resonates with you. You might look to see in what areas of your life that you might be blocking out the energies of others and sort of clinging too stubbornly to working things through by yourself, would be my positive spin on that rather negative card. Is there an area in your life, or is there a part of yourself that just wants to do it by yourself? You know, I think some of us have wounding around asking for help. That's a pretty common wound, and asking for help is a really vulnerable act. And I think some of us learn to cope by doing it ourselves. You know, we become very competent. I think a lot of women, if you identify with that, you know, can sort of go into those energies of like, I don't need anybody else's help, I'm just gonna do it myself. You know, and perhaps you're marvelously competent and you don't need anybody else. But even when you don't need anybody else, sometimes it can be good to invite others into the process, even if you find that annoying, even if their ways are not the way you would do it. You know, there can be hidden blessings. There can be things that are revealed to you, speaking of mysteries to be revealed, by inviting others into the process, even if you don't need them, even if you're quite sure that you can handle it all on your own. And so, along with miser, we've got the words stubbornness and inflexibility. And so I'm sort of seeing Taurus energies here a little bit. Taurus is the sign of earthly prosperity, so material wealth, sort of locking down into your own energies, and you know, there's a consolidation that happens at that point in the wheel, and it can result in great resources, but those resources sort of stay internal and they're not necessarily shared, and you'd have to go over to the other side, the Scorpio side, to be looking at how those resources can come out into the world a little bit more. Let's see what Bluebell has to say, if there's any elucidation that can happen. And so I can sort of like, I almost feel guilty putting this card on the table, and I can feel that there's perhaps some of you feel triggered by it. And so I just want to clarify, this card is not saying that you are a miser or that you're stubborn and inflexible, but it is a call to look at if there are any areas within your path, within your life, within your psyche, where you might be exercising those energies in a way that doesn't serve you. And so, if you're quite sure that these energies are in total service to your life path, then, more power to you, that's great. But if you do feel like there might be, a way in which inviting other people into the process or sort of spreading those energies out could be useful for yourself or others, then this might be a call to look at what those areas are and how to expand beyond the self. And I'm seeing this perhaps connected to this idea of, if you are staying home on the couch or whatever your version of that is, perhaps you're staying too much in those energies of coziness, of just not wanting to deal with the world, sort of coming up with reasons why it's better to rest. I mean, maybe you're resting, maybe you're recuperating, but it does seem like you're sort of being called out at this point. And now you're getting a call to share yourself with the world. And so perhaps the miserliness is the gestation on the couch, and it's time to be reborn into a social sphere and go forth and just be yourself out there in the world and share of yourself. So I thought perhaps the bluebell could clarify the miser for us a little bit. And sure enough, it says the keyword for bluebell is, or the keywords for bluebell are asking for help. In Finland, bluebells were created by a fairy to help a group of mice, the flowers ringing their bells whenever a particularly hungry cat came near. You're a naturally independent person, or perhaps you've gone to lengths to make people think you're independent, but this can give the appearance that you don't need anyone at all. What was I just saying? There we go. Now is a good time to ask for help if you need it. You may find someone is willing to go above and beyond to aid your situation. And so I'm intrigued by the iconography of, we've got a book, which represents wisdom to my mind, and it's got some herbs sort of trapped in it. They almost look like sea grasses. And so there's some, natural wisdom in there. And then we've got this book being pierced by arrows. So it's sort of locked shut by the arrows. And there's also a sense of reaching the mark, but reaching the mark in a way that can't be shared, I guess would be my interpretation. And so there's definitely a very strong call here to go beyond your own energies. We'll see what the tarot has to say. What mysteries are ready to be revealed to pile 3? What information is pile 3 ready to see? Got the 7 of Wands, the Chariot, and the Queen of Wands. We'll pull one more. Oops, those came out together, so I'm going to put them together. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands is traditionally depicted as defensiveness. And that is my dog asking for something. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands can be a defensive energy. So there's both the idea that there might be some attacks from below here, or that this person has built up a defensive fortress around themselves. Either way, they're in a really good position to fight off attackers. And so it might be that you feel like you're being sort of attacked from all sides, but you're actually in a really good position to assert yourself and ward off any energies that you don't want to bring into your life. And so this might be the person staying home when in fact maybe the productive thing would be to sort of shake hands with the other wands that are showing up here and figure out a way to engage with them. I don't know, I'm just going off the energies that are here. That might be something that resonates. On the other hand, if you feel like you're in a battle, I'd say you're in a good position to stay strong in that battle and defend yourself if that's something that is needing to come through for you right now. And then we've got the Chariot. I'm just going to look up what this particular book has to say about the Chariot, because she's so kick-ass. And she's holding the wand, perhaps? I don't know, I want to know more about the iconography of this particular chariot card. Major Arcana. The Chariot. She rules everything around her. The chariot rides in on a silver gleaming motorcycle, ready for battle. She's got her leather armor to protect her. Her crown points towards the sky, and she's connected to nature, to her emotions, and to the stable ground beneath her. The chariot has worked hard to balance everything in her life perfectly. Everything is in its right place and under her control. Victory might not be easy, but she'll win in the end. It's time to be a boss and get shit done. Metaphorically or literally, put on your most badass leather jacket and toughest boots and get ready to fight. Fight for yourself. Don't give up. Don't let anyone run you off the road. It's probably going to take a bit of force and mental energy, but you're confident, you're powerful, you're prepared for this, and victory is yours. So that's interesting. At the beginning of that, I was going to say, the chariot has worked hard to balance everything in her life perfectly, everything in its right place and under her control. I was going to say that maybe there's a suggestion of too much control, and maybe it's time to sort of, get on the bike and move forward and see what else is out there beyond that realm of your own control. But by the end, I was getting the sense that, when do we control situations? When do we seek to control situations? When do we withdraw? It's when we obviously feel out of control, and when we feel like maybe there's a safety in going to this place or this place. And so if that resonates for you, I feel like this reading just took quite a deep turn. So I'm just going to hold that space and go with it. So this may or may not resonate for you, but if this resonates for you, then I sense that there's, once again, I'm sensing just some emotional triggering, and I'm sort of feeling it in me, which is an interesting experience, to be pulling the cards and feeling responsible to the people that they are perhaps resonating for. I've talked so long that the feeling is kind of passing, but in any event, what I was seeing was that if you're fighting for yourself, don't give up. Never, ever, 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 ever give up. Do not stay on the couch. Get out there and, just walk down the street and go drink a cup of coffee at a shop, or get a tea, or eat an orange. I don't know why an orange just popped into my brain, but I assume that might resonate for someone. Put on your badass leather jacket, put on your star earrings, put on your crown, get your wand in hand, whatever emblems mean something to you, and look at this face, get out there and go forth and conquer, and just, do it by showing up and being you. If there's a particular, clothing item or something you like to wear, maybe it's makeup, particular, shade of lipstick or eyeshadow. Maybe there are some earrings that, this leather jacket is spiky, that's so cool. I happen to own some sunglasses that have spikes all over them that would put me in the chariot energies, in the theme of this card. So whatever that item is for you, maybe put it on and try a little walk down the block to go get a coffee. Again, I'm saying coffee, I don't know why, but perhaps that's something that resonates for someone, for one of you. And, I don't think you're being called to do anything drastic or, incredible, other than just showing up as yourself amongst others. And, maybe allowing just the most gentle little nudge out of the inflexibility or the sort of over-controlled scenario. Maybe there is something you need to ask for help with, and the chariot would be the message to, if you sort of built battlements around yourself, then the chariot would be the message to maybe just relax those just a little bit, only to the point that it feels maybe just a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not suggesting you knock them all down at once and leave yourself undefended, but maybe just one of them could come down, and then maybe you'll be in a position where you feel like you can ask for help and you know, I think a lot of us feel a certain shame in asking for help, and I don't know what you might want to ask for help with. Maybe you need somebody to help you put up a shade structure. Maybe you need to reach out to mental health, you know, outreach workers, in which case, you know, please do. Please, you know, find those numbers, those hotline numbers, and please reach out, and do not give up on yourself. So, you know, maybe you need help realizing an artistic project that maybe you've given up on. Maybe there's a piece of kit or gear that you need to get. Whatever that is, you know, whatever the thing is that you have been too much in your own energies about, find what will make you feel resourced in asking for help, and then ask for help. Got dog fluff landing on the table. Dogs are very loyal. They're a symbol of loyalty. So perhaps there's something coming through for you in my dog showing up in this moment. One of my cats came through in another reading, and they're actually, oh, we've got it again. We've got the black cat here. That same card came through. And so, having just looked at the Queen of Wands, I can tell you that she is a badass. She's, you know, on fire. She's got so much energy that she's hard to keep up with. And so this may be you. It might be that by not giving up on yourself, by sort of taking those steps, that you end up in your Queen of Wands energy and, you know, taking on new projects and just getting out there and being the one who's hard to keep up with. Or, you know, maybe you feel like the cat who's just sitting right beside the Queen of Wands, and, you know, maybe you share in those energies for as long as you care to. And perhaps you then go off and do your own thing. It's interesting, I think we had a progression to the Empress from the Queen of Wands in one of the other piles already, so that's intriguing. The Ace of Wands is the idea of a new project or a new venture that you could be starting out at, a new passion, something that you're excited about. And so maybe just sort of opening up these energies just a little bit will bring you around to something that you feel passionate about, that is the beginning of a new pursuit. And that came out with the Empress. And so the Empress is the Queen of all queens. She represents the balance of the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles, all in one lovely package. It feels almost demeaning to call her a package. She is the essence of, for example, the divine feminine, if that's something that resonates. We all have that within us, regardless of our gender. She is fecundity, fertility. She is just a gorgeous, beautiful card in this deck, and I'm loving these kind of crystals coming out of the earth behind her, suggesting that she's very resonant and attuned. And the Ace of Wands would be some of that same energies, but there's something, I would say, the Ace of Wands would be a source of power. And so it is possible that the Empress and the Ace of Wands, perhaps she's got her hands on, you know, a new source of power. Maybe you're tapping into your own power. Maybe asking for help is your new superpower. And, you know, that will allow you to show up in the world and deliver your gifts to the world rather than keeping them behind closed doors. And, you know, again, that can just be as simple as having a chat with another person, because, you know, you don't know where that chat's going. You don't know what effect you're going to have on another person just by showing up. So I'm considering these one pull, and so I'm going to get a clarifier. Oh, I wish I could let you see the full glorious nudity of the star card. She's beautiful. But she will be covered up when you see her. Because that's what you do. Oh my goodness, we got two cards coming out together, and one of them is the King of Wands, and the other one is the Hierophant. So, I guess in spite of my intentions, we're getting two here too. Okay, so as a modifier for the Seven of Wands, we've got the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is more just like the Ace of Wands. It's beginning energy. It's the start of something. I'm sensing that there's beginning of an opening up to your own emotions, to feeling and maybe processing whatever it was that got you to this place of, taking a time out. So if there's something to be processed, again, don't hesitate to ask for help. Help is out there. It is. We live in a wonderful world of online therapy resources and counseling and hotlines, and everything you could possibly need is just a Google away. It might be that you're asking a particular person in your life for help to hold space for you while you process. It might be that you're accessing your meditation toolkit, whatever sort of processing space you need help for you, find that, seek it out, and I think the cup will begin to flow. You can see this cup is overflowing with lovely heart-centered energy. And there might be some tears along the way, but there's going to be light. There's going to be a lot of light, says the mysterious hand coming out of the cloud. And so perhaps that opening up process is what brings you into your chariot energies, where you're able to access your inner resources. Okay, so perhaps accessing those emotions is what's bringing you over into your chariot energies and, sort of leveling you up to this new ass-kicking energy that you're being called into. Not necessarily ass-kicking in the sense of doing anything in particular, but just by showing up and putting on that one thing that makes you feel good about yourself and getting out into the world. And so, if there's something you've been considering going out to, perhaps that's a call to do it. And then we've got the Page of Pentacles, contemplating. There's something you want. There's something you want to do. There's something you want to have. There's something you want to access. And there's a lot of beginning energy here. So we've got, the aces of wands and cups. And then we've got the Page of Pentacles, which is, this person is just moving in the direction of sort of cognizing and figuring out what they want and going after it. And so perhaps this journey of resourcing yourself and going out into the world reminds you that there's something you want, and you're going to be in an excellent position to pursue that. You're going to be all fired up and able to get what you want. And the star is a card of wish fulfillment. So the star suggests that there's so much balancing going in here. There's a city, there's the countryside, there's the star energy up here. We've got the elements of earth and water and balancing between them. Don't move, naked person, otherwise I will have to move the lightning bolt. This particular star card she's just absolutely gorgeous. Wish you could see all of her. She's got these gorgeous tresses that are coming down, cascading, and along with lots of curves. And so it feels like, and I believe this bird is an ibis, if I'm saying that correctly. I read the description for this and I don't really remember what the ibis is about. Perhaps I should refer to it. Let's just see. Darkness has turned into light. Despair has turned into hope. Your wounds are healing, your scars are fading. Bask in this time of peace and serenity. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Let yourself be free and accept these calm moments. The earth and everyone around you will rejuvenate you, comfort you, and fill you with joy. You are a shining beacon of possibility, so dream big and wish on that shooting star. And the ibis is a symbol of creativity and inspiration, flying high in the sky above her, and the stars shine brightly for her. So, yeah, it looks like you're going to be in your star energies, which is, it's making me want to cry. So maybe you're crying. I don't know. You're crying, not me. I'm just teasing. It is definitely bringing moisture to my eyes, and it makes me really happy because I do feel like there's something kind of intense happening over here, and I just really love this journey that's happening here of accessing your power and then attaining this place of wish fulfillment. And so it is a very natural transition from the star over to the Empress energies and just having your hand on the pulse, knowing exactly what you need to do next. And from there to the King of Wands and the Hierophant. So the King of Wands is, if the Queen of Wands is sort of fired up and raring to go, the King of Wands is the commanding leader. So it's sort of, once you've accessed those energies, then, you're sort of resting confident, not necessarily all fired up, but you're confident that you could be at any moment, that you can resource yourself, that you can access anything that you need to advance your purpose. And there's leadership energies here, so if there's something that you've been considering taking the lead on, this would be a call to definitely do that. And coming out together with the Hierophant, this is at the beginning. So the Hierophant can be a teacher. There might be someone that you wish to learn from. She is wise in her guidance, helping us discover new things we could not have found alone. As students and disciples, we kneel at her feet, listening to her stories and lessons. We may be able to find the lock that fits the keys crossed at her feet through that listening. Look to the past, read books, find a community of both differing worldviews and familiar ones. Find the passion within you and the hunger to know more. Nothing is created in a void, and you can enrich yourself by finding communities or collectives that help to structure your study. Learning new things can open your mind to new pathways and possibilities. So you've got the call to learn. The Hierophant can also be the energy of ritual or tradition. So it's possible that there's some kind of, it might be a call to education for some of you. I'm sort of noticing the students here and imagining the Hierophant as a trusted, respected teacher or professor. And then with the King of Wands, it seems like maybe this is you, maybe you're the teacher here that needs to, maybe you need to access those resources within yourself to step up and lead and teach. If that resonates, then take that. And if not, I'd say there's some kind of leadership for you that's going to be happening through this learning. So engage in the learning, find that passion, find your passions, and then once you are undertaking that journey, you're going to find yourself in a very confident position. So I hope this resonates. I tried to stay present with the intense energies that were happening early on, and I hope I did an okay job of that. I feel like this card it threw me, and through that I sense that it might have thrown some of you. But I do see just a very natural transition here. And again, don't typecast yourself as the miser, but rather look for the areas in your life which we can all do and should all do all of the time. Got to find those places where we're a little bit inflexible and just kind of open them up, get into those processing emotions, and figure out what makes us feel powerful and resource ourselves, and then pursue it and enjoy that wish fulfillment when it comes in for you. I really love that this showed up in this reading and where it did, and that there's a journey past that point that looks as if there's some kind of seizing power in a lovely, gentle, kind way that is leading to this sort of ongoing journey of teaching, learning, and just being in your power. And so, starts with that cup of coffee, getting out of the house and walking down the block, wearing your finest finds. I hope this is helpful, Pile 3. And if it was, if you resonated with any of this, or if you would like to help the channel grow, please do like, comment, subscribe, and I am quite thrilled about it. So thank you if you've been supporting, and to those who have been leaving comments on the readings, thank you so much. It helps so much. And with that, we will end. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. I hope this has been helpful, and take care. Bye. Don't forget to access your resources.